which is why I would love to audition for.
Down south, hood baby, make all the girls go crazy, go stupid. Look up, down to the side, why got me feeling a little lazy.
Haruhi and I are the main characters, so that means we are love interests. Yeah, then what are we? You boys are the homosexual supporting cast.
Look, it's Katara, Sokka, Aang, and Momo.
I like cash in my hair to my ass. Do the dash, can you make it go fast? Fuck the fame, all I want is them bands. I like cash in my hair to my ass. Do the dash, can you make it go fast? Fuck the fame, all I want.
So, like, I'm a responsible adult, and I would never dye my hair to look like one of my kins. I'm just kidding, that's exactly what I'm doing in this video. And it's Sokka. I already have the cut. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna do, like, the top part brown and then do, like, blue underneath. Y'all have no idea how long it took me to section my hair. It's not perfect, but it's fine. My cat just fucking stole my chair. If I fuck this up, I'm gonna cry. Okay, I'm done with the brown part, and now it looks like a turd is on my head. I also want to say I'm not dyeing my undercut any color because I'm going to get it shaved down soon, and then you're not going to be able to tell anyway. Now it's time for the fun part. This, as far as I'm concerned, is the best blue dye. This brand does not stick to unprocessed hair, so I don't have to worry about this. It'll just wash out. Let it set for 25 minutes. Do something else. There we go. Yeah, brother. Look at that. Oh.
So this schedule that Sokka pulls out, it's what's known as a Gantt chart, which is the kind of chart that is typically used in television production. And I bet that this is actually the season 3 production schedule for Avatar.
For those who watched Avatar The Last Airbender, can we talk about something? Recently the show was added to Netflix in the US, which is incredible because it's finally getting the talk and attention it finally deserves. However, just recently I've also noticed a lot of comments where people are just like, why are you talking about Avatar The Last Airbender? That ended years ago. Oh my god, you're just watching it now? First off, shut the fuck up. This series did not come out in an age of social media, so I'm finally glad it's getting the attention it deserved. And secondly, for many people, they're re-watching it for like the 10th, 20th. For me personally, it's the 15th time. I love this show. It's probably the best show of all time. And it's good that new people are watching it too, because whenever they watch it, they're like, shit, this show is hype as fuck, and I'm glad I finally saw this show. More of the story, let people watch the show, let them talk about it. It's good that the show's being talked about. Naruto's been over for years, and people to this day still talk about it and make music about it. So you finished watching Avatar The Last Airbender and are wondering, what's next? Well, you're in luck. Avatar The Last Airbender actually has comic books after the war ended. These comics were made by Dark Horse Comics with the help of the original creators, and if you're wondering what order to read them in, just take a screenshot of this or look it up online. I'm not going to spoil anything, but they answer some unanswered questions at the end of Avatar, such as what happened to Zuko's mom. Now, if you finish the comics, you can move on to The Legend of Korra, and there's even more after that. There are also comics that have been made on Avatar Kyoshi, so if you want to check those out as well, look it up. I highly recommend reading these comics. Even though they aren't animated, they're still the same artwork, and it's very cool to see what happened after the war. So if you guys have watched The Legend of Korra, you'll know there's a scene in the first season where she breaks out of Amon's bloodbending grip, and a lot of people like to praise her for being the first person to break out of it without like an Avatar state. Well, I want to show you guys this a little bit in Avatar The Last Airbender. Katara legit did it by not being an Avatar. You know, it's comments like these that make me realize that you're a new Avatar The Last Airbender fan, and that's alright, but let me show you why Zuko is older than Azula with proof. Here you go. Here's a cutout from one of the comics that came out after the show had already ended. They were created by the original creators of the show, and here in this little speech bubble, Ozai says, despite being a year younger, proving that Azula is actually younger than Zuko. Avatar The Last Airbender fans, can we talk about the most underrated recap episode of all time? That's right, today we're going to be talking about the Ember Island Player. This is a recap episode that takes place right before the final episode of the entire series. It's 24 minutes long, and it basically covers every major point that happened in season 1 through 3. Now, did it cover everything? No, but it covered the major events that took place in seasons 1 through 3 in sort of a humorous way. This 24-minute episode did a better job recapping 3 seasons worth of material than a live-action 2-hour-long movie that only had to recap 1 season. So you finished Avatar The Last Airbender but don't know what order to read the comics in. Don't worry, I got you. The first comic you're going to want to read is called The Promise. The second comic you're going to want to read is called The Search. The third comic will be entitled The Rift. The fourth comic will be called Smoke and Shadow. The fifth comic is going to be called North and South. And the sixth comic is going to be called Imbalance. You can also read the comics that take place during the show, which are entitled Team Avatar and also The Lost Adventures. Then after that, you can move on to the graphic novel of The Rise of Kyoshi, and then The Shadow of Kyoshi. And if you want to watch Korra and anything else, you can do that as well. So you know that scene in Avatar The Last Airbender where Uncle Iroh goes, "It's a long, long way to Ba Sing Se, but the girls in the city, they look so pretty." Anyway, I saw a comment somewhere saying Earth Kingdom girls aren't bad and Fire Nation girls are badder, but I just want to remind you guys of one little thing. You remember Suki? Yeah, this girl? Yeah, she's an Earth Kingdom girl. The girl that you've been calling bad for all this time. Yeah, she's Earth Kingdom. Oh, yeah, I got some more for you. You remember the date that Zuko went on while he was in Ba Sing Se? Yeah, her, Jin? Yeah, she's an Earth Kingdom girl. And not to mention the other Kyoshi warriors, like I'm not saying that Fire Nation or Earth Kingdom are better or whatever, I'm just saying Earth Kingdom's got some baddies as well, okay? Let's all calm down here. Avatar The Last Airbender fans, can you help me understand something? So you know in Book 1, Episode 3, when Aang accidentally stumbles across Gyatso's body? And seeing his body actually triggers his avatar state? And that trigger sends a signal across all the 4 nations letting everyone know the Avatar is alive. And I guess my only question here is why didn't it happen in Episode 2? Because we actually see Aang go into the Avatar state for a slight moment when he gets knocked off of Zuko's ship. Here, I'll show you. If you're an Avatar The Last Airbender fan and you read the comics, can we talk about something? In the comics, when Aang and Katara got together, whenever they showed each other love or affection, Sokka would kind of get weirded out and say, "You're giving me the oogies." Why is this important, you might ask? Well, if you've seen The Legend of Korra, you should be well aware that Aang and Katara had 3 kids together, Bumi, Kaya, and Tenzin. And Tenzin was the only one at the time who could airbend. And he himself had a flying bison. And what was that flying bison's name, you might ask? Well, it was Oogie. Now the question here is, did Tenzin name his sky bison that after Sokka because Sokka would always say, "You're giving me the oogies" whenever they show affection to one another? How old are Avatar The Last Airbender characters? First up is Azula, the fire princess who conquered